morning, everyone. And thank you to my friend as well, the president of Sara. Please give him another round of applause. I've been asked by the program director to introduce our honorable minister, but I was also promised I've got 5 minutes to quickly speak on Prasa. So I'm going to use the 5 minutes first, if you don't mind. As the president has said, and please all protocols observed, the president has done the welcome. But as he has said, this is a regional conference. And I can't stand here assuming that everyone knows Prasa. Yes, I'm a board member. I sit with many of the colleagues of the member states. But it's an opportunity to present Prasa and the progress that we are undertaking on our side. So if we move on, I'm not quite sure who's controlling, or is it myself? Oh, there we go. Just very quickly, Prasa is a state-owned entity. Our primary mandate is to move people, both in terms of commuter rail as well as long-distance rail. Importantly, Prasa also has a secondary mandate, and that is to sweat its assets, generate revenue from the real estate portfolio and other assets that we own. The vision is simple. We want to deliver high quality, sustainable transport solutions in South Africa, but also with a vision into Africa. Okay, see the slides are jumping. Just very quickly, we operate in all the major cities in South Africa. In Johannesburg, Pretoria, Cape Town, in Durban, in Port Elizabeth, Abega, as well as Buffalo City in East London. We've got commuter rail services in all of these cities. We also do the intercity rail as well as bus services between these major metropolitan nodes and also some of the key rural areas in our country. Very quickly, we've got very ambitious targets, and the Honourable Minister has set those targets and made it clear what Prasa needs to achieve. By 2030, we need to move and account for 600 million passenger trips. And we are on that journey. There's a lot that needs to be done, but the progress is positive in terms of reaching that 600. It's coming from a low base in terms of where we have been, but we already see significant increases in the numbers as we are bringing back the corridors around the country. Now, the past few years has been very exciting in South Africa. Yes, we've had some of the challenges, but if you see that revitalization, the rebuilding that is happening in our country, within the rail space, it's been a construction site. We have recovered 35 of the 40 corridors. Many of these corridors were stripped, badly vandalized, and you can see from the have done both direct and indirect jobs of over 60,000 within the space. Not only are we talking commuter rail, we're also looking at other passenger trips, whether it's to events, sporting events, key events within our country that are happening, dealing with retail, with shopping. How do we transport the elderly, giving special trips to the pensioners and so forth. We are rolling out an expansive program to not only focus on commuter journeys, which predominantly is in our peak periods, but also how do we maximize our off-peak offerings. And our customer services, together with our train operations department, is working hard in terms of being innovative around the spaces. And I'm sure some of you have been on the trains. Just a week ago, we had the service running to Ellis Park for the Springbok Australia match. The result was not a good match. It was not a good result for South Africa, but the service was top class. The responses we got on the day was brilliant. I was on the train myself, and the trains were packed, Minister. The trains were packed. It was a joyous occasion. Our driver was screaming, "Go Boca," over the audio, and the train went wild. It was quite an experience and very humbling for us as Prasa employees to see this difference and this happiness that we bring to our citizens. And we take a deep reflection on how do we improve customer experience. It's at the heart of our business. We measure this annually. If you look at where we were 3-4 years ago of customer satisfaction sitting at about 50%, last year we saw an increase towards 75%. And we want to improve on that. But we start to see a customer base that is a lot more satisfied with the service that we are operating. And a large part of that is due to the fact that with the recovery and rebuild, we're rolling out a modernization program with modern elements starting to come through, be it on the rolling stock, at our stations, some of the technology that we are rolling out at Prasa. As I've mentioned, the new rolling stock, and I know there's a more detailed presentation coming later, but it's a flagship project of Prasa. It's a flagship project of this country. I think it's very important. I've engaged with a lot of the board members at Sara, the opportunities to generate revenue from the assets in the railway environment. We have seen success on a number of developments that we have done. It's one of the areas where we have seen private sector participation for a number of years, be it through development leases, be it through co-development with Prasa. Recently, we completed a 21-story building in Cape Town, at Cape Town Station, 3,300 beds of student accommodation, 7,000 square meters of retail. And that building is over 90% let, both from a student as well as a retail point of view. There's a photo on the left there just showing some of the social housing developments. That's at Goodwood, a number of housing developments that we have done. And we'll be launching now just in the next couple of weeks, also here in Johannesburg, student accommodation in Braamfontein. And there's a number of these developments. I'm going to end with this slide. I think I've showed you the new trains that we are manufacturing. Prasa also has an existing fleet, operational fleet, we refer to as the yellow and grey fleet, where there are opportunities also to look at how do we mobilize and utilize some of these trains going forward, be it in South Africa, be it in some of our rural areas or even beyond, in terms of utilizing. Colleagues, now on to my second mandate that I was given. And thank you to the President and the team for giving me this honor. Good morning once again, esteemed guests, colleagues, and partners in the South African rail industry. It is my distinct honor and a pleasure for me to introduce the Honorable Minister of Transport, Barbara Creecy. When she took on transport in July 2024, she brought with her the experience and perspective we need during this period of reform. Minister Creecy has spent over 30 years in the public service, both at provincial as well as national level. She worked across various portfolios, including education, finance, sports and culture, and the environment. Since her appointment as South Africa's Minister of Transport in 2024, Minister Creecy has spearheaded a transformative agenda in the rail transport sector. Central to her strategy is a 66 billion investment aimed at revitalizing the country's rail infrastructure, with a strong focus on both passenger rail and freight services. Already by May 2025, Prasa had successfully restored 35 out of the 40 key corridors, targeting 116 million passenger journeys in this financial year. Minister Creecy's plan also includes infrastructure recovery, signaling upgrades, and the procurement of new train sets. On the freight side, she is driving reforms guided by the National Rail Policy and the Freight Logistics Roadmap, with Transnet preparing to open corridors to third-party operators under a new open access framework. This initiative is expected to enhance competition, reduce costs, and improve network utilization. Her academic background includes an honors in political science from Wits University and a master's in public policy from the University of London. She is ideally suited to help us in the transport sector, navigating the policy and operational environment and the opportunities it presents. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Minister of Transport, Barbara Creecy.